Welcome to Jumpshots from the Goal Line. I'm your host, Jonathan Dugan, joined as always by my wonderful co-host, John Henningsen. John, the Chiefs and Eagles just wrapped up. My only thoughts of this game was it is always a distinct pleasure to watch Patrick Mahomes lose in prime time when he has spent the entire game bitching to the referees. Thoughts?
I will say that I watched a lot of this game without sound. And as someone who's watching something of theater, that is one thing I picked up upon. So I tend to, even without sound, I totally know that's exactly what was going on. There was many a time when I was like, what? Is he looking for a call again? Like what? Because there is definitely a lot of that. He is genuinely doing a lot of, he doesn't like getting hit.
No, not at all. That last roughing the passer call on who was it, Fletcher Cox, where he hit him legit like half a second after he threw the ball, and he immediately turns to the refs. I'm like, who is this guy? Like, what are we doing here? Like, why is this a thing? And he gets the call like every single time. He is the only person I've seen that gets more calls or like the same treatment as him is Tom Brady, and Tom Brady won, the most Super Bowls of all time. So I don't understand it. They protect that dude like nobody's business.
Yeah, I was sharing that exact message. I was like, I think Herbert has to win a Super Bowl for us to even sniff these calls because that guy gets absolutely laced all the time.
So does Lamar.
It's a complete, yeah, no, and I know Lamar does too. I mean, it's a completely different game that some of these guys are being officiated under. I'm with you on that. It's I don't, what is the word for it? It just kind of, it reminds me of the NBA.
Yeah,
it's very much like I'm looking for the call kind of thing, and it's pretty frustrating when he gets it.
Yeah, and it happens legit every game. People that want to say like, oh, you guys just hate Patrick Mahomes, blah blah blah. Like, I don't even hate Patrick Mahomes. Like, I truly don't. But it is annoying that like in key moments of games, like tonight, right? That could have been a massive moment if they give him the roughing the passer call, and then he hits that touchdown to Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Like, that would have been a game changer, and it wouldn't have even been there if it wasn't for a stupid 15-yard penalty. Now, homie didn't catch the ball because none of the Chiefs,
by the way.
Yeah, none of the Chiefs wide receivers seem to be able to catch the ball this year. I think I heard the style's like 26 drops so far this year, which is insane. But still, like, the dude just gets call after call after call, and I watched my quarterback, who is a former MVP, who
he deserves a lot of respect in this league. Make no mistake about it. Yeah, I'll say it as a non-Ravens fan.
Yeah, one of the most electric guys in the league that should be quote unquote protected, and he's not.
He should be.
But he should be. He gets freaking annihilated like every game. I mean, on Thursday night, the Bengals linebacker freaking twisted his leg on a tackle. Like, no call.
Yeah, I thought he was done, by the way.
Yeah,
when that happened.
Did.
I mean, at least for the night.
And if Mahomes gets even like touched, it's like, well, here comes the laundry, and it's so frustrating. So it's so great. I was the biggest Eagles fan tonight, just rooting on whoever could like beat Patrick Mahomes. And I know that's so stupid and childish, but like, that's just how it is.
No, I mean, look, as a Chargers fan, like, I obviously see it at least a couple times a year, and he is policed differently. And I think we all know that happens, like, especially if you're, we're NBA fans, so we know what kind of like how this sort of game works.
Yeah.
But it is frustrating and it is tough. And then on the flip side of that, I guess maybe something that this isn't something we talked about, but what kind of has me a little bit heated in the same vein and the same type of conversation is the NFL hitting random DBs or linebackers, whoever, with suspensions out of nowhere for hits that they're just like deeming after the fact, no penalty. Homie on the Broncos got tagged with like a 4-game suspension. Yeah, and I'm not saying these are like the world's cleanest or best hits or whatever, but like what are these? I mean, they're not even being flagged on the field, and then all of a sudden, I mean, this just feels like the NFL trying to CYA on some stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, honestly. Well, I mean, and to be fair from both sides of the table, Kareem Jackson does have a history of like
Sure.
launching forward.
Yeah, for sure. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I'm
Yeah.
not saying that these are completely on because like I'm not here to defend Broncos. I think we
God no.
know, or I hope you know that from me. If you know anything about me, that's not what I'm here to do. But I do think it is a little suspect. It's a little
Yeah.
convenient.
Well, I think what it comes down to, like, because we've seen a lot of stupid fines to like defensive players, like not even just defensive players, but even offensive players. Like some of these running backs, they're just lowering their head trying to truck guys. Or even there was one this year, just the Ravens fan speaking. Patrick Ricard, our fullback, literally just did a routine block where he like basically threw himself at a defensive lineman. Nothing was called on the field, but then he got like a $20,000 fine. And there's a lot of that crap going on. And I think I even heard a former player say, like, well, this is just the NFL protecting itself through the lawsuit that's inevitably going to come in the next 30 years
Yeah.
because guys are just, brain dead. And they're going to point to these suspensions or these fines and be like, oh, well, see, we tried to police it, but, the guys did what they wanted to do. Well, dude, like it's a violent game and it's never going to not be a violent game. You can't change it that dramatically and just start fining people and suspending people for like not even that wild of hits. I understand your point completely.
Yeah, and I think that's the exact like commentary that I saw, and it really just made a lot of sense to me. Like
Yeah.
it didn't. I didn't have to connect a lot of dots. I was like A to B, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like that just didn't seem like a stretch to me. There are plenty of things that can come off that way, and I don't think protecting Mahomes, and I don't think the fines that are being levied or the suspensions that are being levied that allow them to create paperwork that says, look, we've tried to protect players is that's a pretty small leap to make, given what we know about the way the NFL polices its everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And then college football is starting to do it too, with the whole targeting stuff. Like, I still don't think anybody understands really what targeting is. Now, I did see one good example of it this weekend. I sent you and Ben that tweet of with the Boston
Yeah,
College defender just launching
that was
like
the
a
launchiest of
missile.
launches. Yeah,
And we're like, that
yeah, that
right
was
there
straight
is
out of
targeting.
Houston. Yeah, I was like when he left Houston, through the flight path. Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
past the NASA station. Yeah, that one was pretty.
that one I can get behind on. Yeah, like, all right, yeah, throw that guy out. Like that's not safe. But like, yeah, dude, some of these hits. There was even one game this year for the Ravens where Kyle Hamilton, um, like, didn't even tackle a guy in a weird way. It just so happened to hit the guy's face mask because just of the way the guy fell. They threw him out of the game. I'd never seen it in the NFL ever, but they called it targeting, and he got sent out of the game. So it's getting out of hand. It's wild. And I don't want to sound like my dad right now or like your dad or whoever,
Yeah, I
but
know.
like it's getting soft out here, dude. It's getting real soft.
No, we are to that point though where I guess we just have to have that realization with ourselves where we're having that. I've been on the safety train, man. I really have been. I am I wanted everyone to know that this podcast is pro player safety.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's weird when it feels like it's being legislated the same way an NBA foul is being legislated. And
Yeah.
that's the part where I get uncomfortable. I'm like, hey, look, forcible contact ahead. And I think they've actually done a really good job. Like I think it's a much cleaner sport on both levels. I don't see the types of hits that we saw when we were younger. I think
Yeah.
they've done actually a good job policing it out of the game. But when you're seeing these random suspensions where it feels like a helmet hits
A
like a
shoulder
high
pad.
shoulder pad,
Yeah.
and just because the guy like ducks his face, I'm like, look, there's going to be some things that happen, and I don't know. It does just make me nervous, like the fact that another player is pointing it out the way that you stated, of like, are they trying to create a paper trail of like, look, we tried to stop this, we tried to take action, and even the players themselves like couldn't hold themselves accountable, or however they're trying to frame it. I'm just very wary of that. You know what I mean? I'm look,
Any
I
way they can
we're
put it on the players, bro.
yeah, we're here in conspiracy culture. We're just embracing it. I'm just taking whatever comes at me and giving it, but it's been weird. And Mahomes, to take it all the way back, definitely plays it up and is
Oh
definitely
yeah.
not afraid to get a flag.
No, he takes advantage of it for sure. I will say the last point on this that I do miss from time to time the days of old, the highlight videos that every guy has on their phone, apparently, according to that meme of just like insane hits. Just guys, catching the ball, turning left, and just getting blasted. That was fun times, dude. Because we weren't the one getting blasted, but we got to move
Yeah,
forward, I guess.
I don't have a folder, but I mean, I do have a group chat, and it'll get to me. Or I do have a dad that now understands Instagram, and he's like, "This is when men were men." Send. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
he's gonna send me those, but the weird part is, weird for who, I'm not sure, probably me, but I'm like, I'm starting to trend with him. I'm like, yeah,
Hell
he's actually
yeah.
making a little bit of sense, Dad. Yeah, like,
Hell yeah, brother.
yeah, like I think I do miss people getting their heads taken off over the middle. Yeah, I'm
Dude, I
becoming a
grew up
sicko. Yeah,
I grew up with like Ray Lewis, Urlacher, Bernard Pollard just absolutely concussing Shane Vereen in the playoffs. Like it was great, man.
yeah. I mean, dude, Derwin James, I'm just watching him every week, and I'm like, he's going to get legislated out of this league. Essentially,
Yeah.
he's either the best safety in football or the worst, depending on how you want to look at it. But I mean, he's a personal foul week, and I guarantee you, I mean, it's every bit as all the shine that he gets now. He's playing 15 years ago, and he's just the best safety in the league.
Yeah, for
Period.
sure.
He's
He's
just like,
Brian
there's no
Dawkins.
doubt, he's just the best safety, and you are not catching a ball anywhere near the middle of the field because he will kill you.
Yeah.
But now he has to be like, I'm going to kill you, but then I'm going to send you down gently.
Yeah.
Like it's coming here, but then I'm also going to catch you after it's a weird thing we have going on.
Yo, weird side thing, but speaking of Shane Vereen, do you watch a lot of Pac-12 football? Are you one of the 5 people in America that does? Like
I
Pac-12
love
Network?
well, I mean, I do find myself to Pac-12 Network, although I do also have a personal stand against having Pac-12 Network in my home. So yes, no, and then yes again. I'm always watching, but I'm also always fighting to keep it out of my house.
When did Shane Vereen just turn into a giant baby? Like, have you seen him lately? He looks like a baby that has gone incognito and has gotten a job as a commentator. It is
He just looks
wild.
super young, weird looking.
He just has a baby head, dude. Yeah, like his head is bigger or smaller than the rest of his body. He's bald and no facial hair. He just looks like a baby. It is wild.
I did not know that about Shane Vereen, but that's from a nice little run from Cal running backs in that period. The
Yeah,
Shane Vereen, Marshawn Lynch was a nice little. That was when Cal running backs were Cal running backs, and they meant something in this world.
I'm gonna send it to you. Like it's
Yeah, I mean, I do want to see this guy. No, I did not know that. I did not know Shane Vereen had a specific look about him.
dude, I was watching it wasn't this week's game, it was last week's game when we were playing Colorado. And I was just like, holy shit, like what happened to Shane Vereen? I don't remember him looking like this because he used to have a beard and whatever, right? And now he straight up looks like just a little baby. It's wild. I'm trying to find a good picture online. This is great podcasting, but
No, it's fine. Why you do that equally old man take? Like, Scully, you got to catch when the ball hits your hands. You got to catch that ball, right? Quentin Johnston,
oh boy, I wanted to hear you go
Valdez
off about
Scantling,
this.
like, right? Like these guys. What is going on with these guys? I mean, I know that's not an easy catch in the rain, going down the middle of the field, but that one hits him pretty clearly in the hands, and you got to catch that ball.
Yeah, dude.
That was a tough one.
It was a
Mahomes
great
like threw
pass.
two really nice balls to finish that game with two no catches.
Yeah, it was a great pass by Mahomes too. Like, I mean, on the money. But like, I mean, I know it was raining, clutch moment.
That's what I mean. Like I'll give it. Like I mean, that's not that I'm not saying I always try not to sound like the guy. I'm like, oh yeah, like I would have made that play, but at the same time, like it. The rule is right. I mean, we got two hands on that ball. It's basically center mass in those hands, and you just got to catch that.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. Dude, I can't find a picture of him recently, so I'm just gonna get off this point because it's
I'll
not
look up
gonna
Shane
happen.
Vereen. I mean, I've got free time.
Yo, but you're right though. It was like that pass, and then even the last pass to the tight end hit him right in
Yeah,
the hands.
yeah, that one, those hands to face.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree. Like, I
you know
mean,
the
I
rule.
don't know how he can throw that any better, and it's traveling 25 yards. So you're like, all right, you got to at least like, as a tight end, knock that down. I mean, that
Oh,
skips off his hands and goes rolling back.
yeah. So you brought it up. Quentin Johnston drops a game-winning touchdown because that would have been a touchdown for sure. He would have
I
been
mean,
gone.
it's at least the game tying field goal at minimum. if
Yeah.
he trips after he catches it because he can't believe he caught it, which I think is also something we have to consider given that he can't catch.
Are you getting nervous?
Look, I've been nervous about him. You know what I mean? This, I just me masking my insecurities, Dugan, is no way to escape. I mean, I've been nervous about him. I'm nervous about every time the Chargers draft a wide receiver based on he's large and
Yeah.
fast profile. I
Yeah.
really,
The Brashad Perriman.
yeah, like I would rather a wide receiver be a wide receiver. Like Jordan Addison looks very comfortable. Is he perfect? No, but he catches the ball.
Zay Flowers looks
Um,
great.
yeah, I still would like to see more out of Zay. I think Zay's like very gadgety, gimmicky, so I'm not super
Yeah.
stoked on Zay. So like I think he kind of falls into that receiver. I also am like I could do without. We can find him in the fifth round,
Mm.
but like
Mm.
someone like no, I mean I'm not trying to even like be a hater on that one. Like I don't need a gadget player. I don't need a big guy. You know what I like is a wide receiver, a guy who can just go catch the ball,
I
a
think
guy who can go run
Addison
a route tree and catch the ball. And
Addison
Addison
would have
probably
been the
fits that.
best pick for you guys for
Yeah,
sure.
and Addison fits that. Like he would have been probably just following in Keenan Allen's footsteps and been fine. We'd had two Keenan Allens, and that would have been just okay. I get wanting to be greedy on it and take the big guy who you think can run fast. And I think Zay Flowers could have been another version of that. That would have been fine too. Again, and then honestly, like if you're getting what you're getting out of Zay is way better than what you're getting out of QJ. So just to be clear, that looks like a much better pick. I'm not here to
Those gadgets are gadgeting, bro. Let me
yeah,
tell
like
you.
at least that's something in your offense. Like that is a thing that is happening in your offense.
Yeah.
But yeah, QJ's looking. I mean, that's the thing is like you can be patient, and you're kind of. My thought is like, all right, maybe we can develop this guy, and but someone sent a tweet about, man, Mike Williams wouldn't have ever been that open, and he would have had to do a backflip and dislocated his knee to catch it, but we would have like at least tied that game. And that's the difference between Mike Williams being in versus QJ in that situation. But all of that said, we can never get a stop, and Staley should be fired if we're jumping into the Charger thing.
Go off, King. Get your take off. I know you need to. You won't do it every week, but you're 4-6. Yeah, 4-6. So
Yeah, we're 4-6, and he should just be fired. Plain and simple. I have no idea. Like, all right, now we're into the temper tantrum stage of the Staley era, where people are going like, "Hey, well, you have the 30th ranked defense in the league. Do you think you should really still be calling plays?" And now he's like, "Dugan, that's not a fair question, and that's not a fair question. Please don't ask me that question. I mean, I know I'm up here preaching every week about we're coaching the right things, we're doing the right things, and I'm supremely confident as a play caller while giving up the most points in the league. But that's really not a question you should be asking. And
yeah,
so if we're at that point, then I think we're good here. And he can go. I've been saying he can go for quite some time, so nothing's
2
really
years.
changed on this platform. Like we're just kind of we're rowing the boat, as Ben would say. We're Minnesota Gophers. We're just rowing the boat. We're all with
Yeah.
it. I just want him done. I'm just tired of it. I'm ready to move on. And really, honestly, what actually upset me more was seeing Herbert get upset, kind of watching operations go poorly, and then him kind of losing his cool when he's a collected young man.
Yeah, he never
And
says anything.
yeah, so if he's losing it, then I'm like, all right, dude, like I'm done. Like I'm done with this guy. We need him out of here. We got to move on. So
It truly makes no sense that
sad.
you guys are as bad as you are on defense when like your defensive line is worth like what 100 million
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's in that
at
range.
least. And
Yeah,
then you have one of the better safeties in the league. Like you've invested some capital in the draft in the secondary, first round linebacker. And I get it, like not all these guys are going to pan out, right? Like Kenneth
for
Murray may
sure.
not
But
be
yeah,
good, but I just would love to see what some of these guys look like in a different defense. That's all I'm saying.
yeah. That's why you bring up a good point that Telesco could probably also go though. General manager, I know we got lucky with Herbert, and I do feel like that's kind of what happened. That Herbert fell in his lap. They needed a quarterback, and it could have been he would have pulled the trigger on anybody, in my personal opinion. But
Yeah, he would have definitely drafted Tua if he could have.
yeah, like any one of those guys would have slipped, and he would have been like, I mean, Zach Wilson falls to him, and he's like, "Yes, we got
Mhm.
our guy." Like it could have been anybody, in my personal opinion. I could be wrong there, but it's been a long time with Telesco of bad football. He already ruined one potential Hall of Famer career in Philip Rivers, and I can't let him do it again, man. I mean, I can't. I don't want this to happen again.
You're gonna
I
have
don't.
to protest, bro. I think we need to send you out to LA. You're gonna stand in front of the stadium with a sign and just call for his resignation.
Did you see the Charger guy like in the spacesuit or whatever the hell was going on? The random fan that they picked of the week.
Yeah.
The guy
I mean,
who was just
he wouldn't even be a Charger fan though, right? I think he was like, was he a Vikings fan?
no. Okay, so no, actually, that's a good call. So Vikings fan was dressed like Vikings fan and Charger fan look exactly the same. I'll have to show you those pictures. You're spot on. They both look like Buzz Lightyear, but
Yeah,
like
because the
mascot
astronaut.
version.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So Chargers had the same kind of thing going. Not sure what it even means, but
Yeah.
yeah.
What the hell?
I'll send you those. Like as soon as you find Shane Vereen, I'll trade you for 2 astronaut pics of a Vikings and Chargers fan who could be the same person. So now we have like that whatever what was the name of the super fan? I don't know her name. No one knows her name,
Dude, I
right?
don't know, random Asian lady.
But yeah, so we had a random Asian lady, now we have like yeah, exactly. This is the pattern continues. I'll just say that. I'll send you these photos.
Is
Weird.
Boltman still a thing, by the way?
Yeah, he's still out there. I think he's
Dude.
more like working the court system though. It seems to be his bag. Like there's only, just those random shots of him in court.
Great
Pro-
mascot, though. I will
yeah,
say.
protesting parking tickets for just random strangers. He's a good man, I think. I think he's a good man.
It's a good man, that Boltman.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Solid guy, totally upstanding citizen, not weird at all.
Yeah, definitely not. Just a
Definitely
Bolt.
not weird. Yeah, just a bolt, dude. Just a regular bolt dude, just doing bolt things. He's not weird.
So
It's
let's talk
totally
about
normal.
Joey Bosa, though. I bet you didn't think he was going to get hurt this year, did you?
Yeah, dude. I didn't even. I know he played like he played like what 2 weeks and 3.5 snaps into the third week, basically. That I mean, yeah. This
So
is
he sprained his foot, right? So he's going on IR. You think he comes
yeah.
back this year?
Nope.
Damn. He's cursed, bro. I want to know what he did to get this cursed.
Yeah, he like buried Nick Bosa's secrets. Yeah,
Yeah.
like he buried the worst Nick Bosa. Like he was the one who like originally scrubbed his social media, and he has to die for it. Yeah,
Yeah, he
I don't
got rid
know.
of the footage of Nick and his dad's clan footage.
Yes, Joey died. Joey jogged so Nick Bosa could run, sort of situation.
Yeah.
It's bad.
That sucks though, dude, because he's so impactful when he's out there.
Yeah,
And
he's really good when he's good.
it frees up Khalil Mack so much. You just I feel like for the longest time, because my buddy Tyler's a Chargers fan, and you know
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
And like since I was just a little kid, I feel like every year the Chargers have promise. And then they like inevitably have like a billion injuries. Like, what is the deal with that, dude?
We got Bosa out. We've got Derwin James being targeted by the league. We got a coach who is now protesting the pressers. I don't know what he's got going on. He's just a loser. And
Herbert's
then
hand is messed up.
yeah, Herbert's hand's still messed up, so he still can't go under center. He's playing the entire league from shotgun and still better than most. I mean, the one thing about Herbert is he has looked better the last 2 weeks. As he gets healthier, he still looks incredible, and he's absolutely slinging arrows all over the field. I couldn't be, more in belief of what Justin Herbert could be over the last couple weeks. He's still been like absolutely ridiculous and incredible. We also had the Keenan Allen rare drop, but something with the sun, whatever. But he literally, just darts one right into Keenan Allen's chest. His hands don't even move. It bounces off of him and falls to the ground. So we have that throwed on top of everything else. And then we get the clip of Austin Eckler getting sort of free,
Oh
like kind of
my
gets
god,
free on
dude.
the, kind of gets free in the backfield, gets to the sideline, and then runs like Mike Tolbert down the sideline. Looks like he's dragging a 40-pound sled. And so, I mean, I've been saying this, and we've talked about this as well, that we've talked about it in different, like you've kind of had the angle of like, yeah, should you add another weapon? I think I've always been kind of like, yeah, I think so, but it's not like the biggest problem. But now he's definitely hitting 30, is not the explosive back. And so we just have a slew of problems, man. We got a lot going on. And I mean, it's certainly more than just the head coach, but that's why I think like there's a conversation to be had about general manager and just an overhaul change of this culture that's just been a culture of losing for like Telesco's just been a part of losing fourth quarters for 10 years, 15 years.
Yep,
I don't even know what the
forever.
exact number is, honestly, off the top of my head, but Tom Telesco's been drafting losers for as long as I can remember and developing a losing culture as long as I can remember and hiring losing coaches for as long as I can remember. So
Loser.
it's just time to move on, dude. Like it's just, I mean, when my friends are like telling me like, oh, now that I think about it more, and I don't know why it took them so long, but like more I think about it, you're kind of like the Browns, but like in better uniforms and all. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Wow, yeah,
I
I
know.
hadn't thought about that, but yeah. You
No, but
guys
it is
win the
like
off season because your
it's all the
uniforms
same.
are sick. Yeah.
It's all the same problems. We have all the same problems of a Browns fan, minus the rush hour jokes you might be seeing on the internet with the quarterback. We don't have that. But other than that,
It's
it's
rough in these
bad.
streets, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
Anyways,
that
we're stoked to see
sucks.
the Ravens next Sunday.
Yeah, what's your feeling on that?
We'll just, I mean, we're in the ditch, so it's just like only upside for me. I have to take
Uh,
it that way. It's only upside for me. You're the only one who needs to be scared. Everybody in America knows we're supposed to lose, so you be nervous.
well, at least your linebackers don't have to cover Mark Andrews anymore, you know?
Yeah, that is a big reprieve, and we're going to be sending Donald Parham Jr.'s 6'9" lanky ass out there for you to deal with.
That was a rough injury, man. Like he's been so good this year. I mean, he's been good his whole career. But to go down on like one of those, what do they call it, hip drop tackles?
Yeah,
Logan Wilson was just out there for blood, trying to he tried to hurt Lamar, tried to hurt OBJ. He did hurt Andrews. And I'm not one to sit here and bitch about tackles. Like like I just said, it's a violent game. But that shit was dumb. Like just dragging him onto his hip and then his ankle just snaps in half. That sucked to see for sure. Luckily for the Ravens, they have one of the better tight end rooms in the league. Like Isaiah Likely's good, former Coastal guy, so we back him, of course.
you better
Charlie
believe it.
Kohler, former third round pick. So they got guys, but it just there's not. It's tough to replace an Andrews like that, you know. Now,
Yeah,
I will say the wide receiver group is looking better. OBJ is starting to get kind of back to his old self. He had that sick slant route for a touchdown. What's his name? The USC guy that was on the Eagles and the Patriots, Aguilar. He looked
Aguilar.
good.
Yeah,
He's fast as shit.
I know
Zay
you've like made
Flowers.
him kind of okay like 2 weeks
Yeah.
out of the 10, which is more
Yeah.
than most.
That's all we needed. Yeah. Rashad Bateman finally got a touchdown. Zay Flowers is very much a human joystick. Like kind of the same way like Tariq Cohen was. Remember, like they called him the
Yeah,
joystick because he's just like that's
yeah,
all Zay Flowers is. Like he's not going to burn you, but he will get by you. So that's fun. It's going to be interesting to see how your defense does. Um, we'll see if
bad.
Ronnie Stanley plays our left tackle. If he plays, I think we can contain Mac. If he does not play, I feel like Mac might have another 5-sack day because the Ravens' offensive line is not very good. So it's going to be interesting. Marlon Humphrey should be back from his injury. So Keenan Allen could either go for like 150 or like 50. So we'll see because I don't think you're going to truly stop Keenan Allen, especially in prime time because this game is like Sunday night football, right?
It's just him though. He should be seeing doubles. Like I don't know
Yeah.
what. There's no one else in this team you should be afraid of anymore.
Yeah, I'm really not. I
No,
don't think
I
you,
mean there really isn't. I mean there's no one at the tight end position. Uh, the wide receiver. I mean, unless QJ is ready to step up,
I
there's not much
don't
left in
think
the
so.
room.
Though that
Yeah, I
would
mean
be
he didn't show
hilarious.
last week.
That would be
No, would be.
hilarious because
That
I
was the
have
only.
just been
Yeah,
on his ass since you drafted him. It would be so funny, and I would just bow and take it if he had like a buck 10 and two
yeah.
tutties on my Ravens. Don't see it happening though. Just
I wouldn't
saying.
count on it. Yeah, I was like, I wouldn't count on it. I would feel pretty safe, but it did cross my mind when he dropped that ball. I'm like, this is all an elaborate setup to just build up podcast ratings. Good move by QJ. You know what I mean? If he's like a
Yeah,
man of the people, if he's a man of the pod, I mean, I respect it. But otherwise, God damn you.
draft boy from the podcast was right. Cannot catch.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which
um,
that's the thing too. Is like, I mean, well, that's whatever. I just know that. Yeah, I knew I kind of knew deep down he couldn't catch. But I'm just like, well, then just get involved in screen game. Like if he's really a good athlete like Zay, like just let him catch 50 balls behind the line of scrimmage like Zay.
are you saying you
Just
wish you had a gadget player right now?
Yeah, I am. Yes. I mean, if I would love to have anybody who's like a productive member of this team in society right now.
Yeah.
And Quentin Johnston doesn't seem to be that thus far.
Not worried about your run game. Our run defense hasn't been great the last 3 weeks, but watching Austin Eckler move like a 45-year-old mailman did help quell my fears.
Yeah, as it should.
Um, he is slow. I know, like, we already kind of talked about it, but like I'm just gonna bring it up again. We talked about it during draft season, draft time, whatever, that you guys needed to add another back because we thought Austin Eckler, number one, might not even be in LA, but two, that he was just getting ancient. It's time. Joshua Kelly ain't it either, by the way. He
I know. Telesco drafted Kelly and Isaiah Spiller, who can't even get on the field. So, in case you're wondering why I'm trying to fire my GM, I know he drafted Herbert, but I'm pretty sure he did it on accident.
Yeah. I wish we could watch that game together, but with the holidays and everything, that's going to be
Yeah,
tough. If it is
for
Sunday
sure.
night, I might be in town though, so I'll keep you updated. That might be some fun content. But overall, I was happy with the Ravens win on Thursday. I think it's time we have a conversation about Joe Burrow because everybody always talks about Lamar Jackson being this injury prone quarterback. I've even said it. He's the last quarterback in the AFC North, because I don't count Kenny Pickett, that's healthy. You know,
Yeah.
Burrow cannot stay healthy for the life of him, and I think it's time we have a discussion about it.
I mean, he doesn't stay healthy. I think you hit it on the head. I don't really know what else to say about it other than he doesn't stay healthy or the Bengals can't keep him healthy. And I think there's like a conversation to be
I
had
think
in
that's more of it.
whichever direction you want to have it. But yeah, I mean the Burrow thing is becoming a thing, and this is what I mean. It's basically been half. I mean, how is it fourth year in the league? And probably
Yeah,
two of them have pretty much been like almost completely hampered by injury at
tore up
this
the knee
point.
the 1 year, and then this year tore ligaments in his wrist. So
So it's a problem, however you want to frame it.
yeah,
I would put this more on the organization in terms of like protecting him. Uh, but there's also guys that just have bad luck too, and that can be the case. But it does seem like quarterbacks in Bengal uniforms universally have pretty bad luck,
yeah, they
whatever
sure
that
do.
means.
Bengals, they're done, right? Can we agree to that? Like, they
Yeah,
are probably not going anywhere.
yeah, I think they're heavily reliant on Joe Burrow.
Yeah, Jamar Chase owners are probably furious right now.
Yep,
That sucks. He's still probably going to get thrown the ball a lot,
sure.
especially if T. Higgins is going to be out for a while. By the way, that guy, he's definitely on another team next year. They can't afford him now, so that sucks. Maybe he goes to LA. Big, tall, can run
Dude,
fast.
yeah, he's so us. Yeah,
That's so you, dude.
so us. Can he be injured too?
I
Yeah,
mean, he's injured right now.
yeah. I was like, God, sign him.
Telesco just
Where
went
does he
6 to
sign?
midnight listening to this
Yeah,
podcast right
where
now.
does he sign?
At least he's good when he's healthy,
He is good when he's healthy. Yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, Bengals are probably out. Browns are probably out, even though they won this past weekend. I
I know
just haven't.
Browns are like the best team in football. That I believe nothing in, but they are 7-3, right? 8-3, 7-3,
I think they are
7-3. I think.
7-3. Yeah, I believe
I mean,
you're
I can
right.
look it up just to be sure.
Yeah, we do have smartphones.
I
I
was
know
like,
they're behind the Ravens by like half a game because we haven't had the bye week yet. Which, you know what? Shout out to that organization because they've had some just atrocious luck, and they're still in it. But I don't think they're going to go much further, to be honest with you,
yeah, they're
because
7-3 though.
I do not trust DTR one bit. Um, with that said, the Steelers did lose to a DTR led team because Kenny Pickett is quite literally maybe the worst quarterback in the NFL. It was a fun joke for this Ravens fan to go on and say and blah blah blah. He's bad. Like,
Yeah,
holy shit.
it's fun to pick on the Steelers, but there's like a clip going around of him throwing every ball past the line at scrimmage, and guess what? None of those things are being completed, and
Not a
most of them
one.
don't even look like they're passes. I mean, and again, this is so I tread lightly. not because I just like Ben and he's on our podcast. That's part of it, certainly. But like the thing is, I don't watch every single Steelers game to know if it's Kenny Pickett or Matt Canada. I don't watch every Penn State game to know if it's Drew Allar or their offensive coordinator. But what I do know is you can't complete a pass in the state of Pennsylvania. Those quarterbacks suck. I'm like full on into it, and then since Ben isn't here, I'm pretty sure there's no quarterback in Pennsylvania that can play a lick. Uh, it's not good. I don't believe in any offense
I
that
think
resides in that state.
I think the guy in Philly would disagree, but is Philly really Pennsylvania? That's more South Jersey anyway, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Thank you for the correction. Although, I mean, Jalen is a really good quarterback, but he's an interesting one too, where he fits that mold of like he's a quarterback, but he's not like an electric passer of the ball. He's not. I don't know how to describe why he's a winner and why he's also not the best quarterback I've ever seen,
He
but I
is
trust him.
really confusing, isn't he?
He's unique, man. Like I respect the hell out of him,
I
but
was
it's
watching him
different.
tonight, and he is very like trigger happy to just get out and run. Like he would run around like to the left side of the pocket, and just get his offensive lineman in trouble with holding calls. But then like 3 plays later, he throws a freaking immaculate deep ball to Devontae, and I'm just like, I don't know what to make of this guy. He's
He
either the best
wins.
quarterback or the worst. I don't understand it.
Yeah, he wins, but he is yeah, he's a tough one, man. He's interesting. He's an interesting cat because I wouldn't put him up there with like the best throwers of the ball that I've seen by any means, but he
No.
just wins week after week. So good on him.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the NFL in general, like I think we're going into week 12, so we only have what, like 6 more weeks? Does that
Yeah.
sound right? Yeah, so
Yeah,
we're
we
getting
go
to
through
the final
18
stretch.
now, 17 games of the bye. Yeah.
Getting to the final stretch. The Niners are starting to look good again. Your boy Purdy had
Yeah.
a great game. Phoenix's own. I think he's what, Queen Creek?
Yeah, like Perry, I think is Gilbert, maybe. But
Okay.
it's right in that. It's all southeast Phoenix.
Yeah, he's starting to look good. That defense is nasty. Elsewhere, the Bills finally won, and Josh Allen said, "I'm getting back." Still don't think he's all the way back. I will die on that hill. I think he's very overrated. Dolphins still haven't beat a good team yet. The Stroud boys are out in full. CJ Stroud looks
Yeah,
incredible. Texans
he
might
does.
make the playoffs. And
Yeah, they're in it.
again, just pointing out, I might have been right on draft day, right? Texans trading back in.
I was going to tell you this. Yeah,
Yeah, you criticized me pretty heavy on draft day about that, which I don't
agree.
blame you,
Yeah,
but like low key kind of smart. You go out and get your anchor on defense, and you go out and get the best quarterback in the draft. Apparently, they're looking
it
real
looks.
good now.
Yeah, it does. It looks really good right now. No, I've been thinking about that one a lot. Like every week that they play a little better, I'm like, well, I'm gonna have to come in and have to say sorry at some point. Like Dugan's gonna throw it in my face eventually or whatever. But
Here it is,
but yeah,
baby.
Stroud's been awesome. I've been waiting for. I mean, Anderson's definitely been impactful. I mean, there's no
Yeah,
doubt he's been impactful. And he'll probably only get better. Like I mean, DNs also have that big second year jump. It feels like.
yeah,
So I do think there's like something coming for him. So yeah, they might have gotten this all right. And like you said, if to your point at the time, and not even so much now, because you're definitely right. Everything looks good right now. But your point at the time was like if they get it right, they get it right. And I think, it's so far, so good.
yeah. Anytime you trade a lot of draft capital to do anything, you're probably gonna get ridiculed a little bit. But I think they did the right thing, right? Like if you're gonna trade future draft capital, you go out and get the leader on both sides of the ball. They went out,
Yeah.
apparently got the best quarterback in the draft. I think that's not even an argument anymore.
Yeah, that's not right now.
Because Bryce Young might be like the third best quarterback that was drafted because Will Levis looks better than him, honestly.
Yep.
And then you go out and get, like I said, just, probably a future top 10 D end with the second pick in the first round. And I think that's the way to do it. You get one on both sides of the ball, right? Like I think we've seen in the past a lot of guys go out and they'll draft a quarterback, top 5, then they trade back in, go get like an offensive lineman or a wide receiver. I think at that point you're mortgaging way too much on one side of the ball where I think the reason I liked it so much was because the Texans invested like current capital on both sides and it's paying off. And also, hell of a coaching hire. You
Yep.
know, that that was such a keen coaching hire, bringing in a guy that knows the culture, played there, had success in San Fran, and has taken a team that 2 years in a row, what they win, dude? Like 3 games overall in 2 years.
Yeah, they've been bad.
Yeah, and now they're probably going to make the playoffs. I would not doubt it with the injuries in the AFC North. It's probably going to be like them and the Jags coming out of the AFC South.
And that tells you a lot, right? I mean, they hired
Football's
one
weird.
serious man, but they hired one serious dude to like run their program, their franchise, their
Tell me
university,
Lovey
their
Smith
whatever.
wasn't serious, bro.
No, no, actually, I take that. I mean, I respect Lovey,
That Tampa
but
2.
they hired Lovey under the condition of like we're gonna fire you,
Yeah,
and so like it definitely took more than just that one guy. But it is crazy how one guy,
can change everything.
and then, yeah, maybe and I don't know how long you want to talk NFL, but when we get to that college football, how that one guy can suddenly change
Mm,
an entire
I know
program
what you're doing.
and
I see
everything
where you're
tastes a little
going.
bit different. The water tastes a little better. The air is a little sweeter. Everything around the stadium looks a little bit more vibrant. When you touch the statue, you can actually feel the spirit of a university from 100 years past. I don't know what is happening at the University of Arizona, but my God,
Really
so
quick,
much fun right now, dude.
really quick, before we move on to the greatness that is the Arizona
All right, fine.
Wildcats.
God, I thought it was a really good transition. That was
It
not strong.
was. It was, but I would be damned if I didn't say, "Hey, the Jets lost." So just really quick, just wanted to
Oh
point
yeah,
that
suck it,
out.
Jets. By the way, clip that. Suck it, Jets.
I don't want to be accused of not bringing up the Jets on this podcast again because that just really hurt us as two hosts of the show.
Yeah,
But yeah, dude,
good
the
point.
Wildcats, maybe the hottest team in college football. Am I wrong?
I mean, outside of the teams that are undefeated, I don't,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like if you've been winning all year, you have an argument. But I do think, yeah, I mean, who's hotter than Arizona?
Nobody, dude. Like they have beaten now what, 4 ranked teams this year? Now, granted,
Correct.
this is the first ranked team that they beat this year that they were ranked higher than and went in as a favorite. But to go in and beat a Utah team the way that they did, they curb stomped them. They left nothing to be thought of. Nothing. I mean, they were up what, 28-0 in the first half, just cruising. And this is a Utah team that, yes, does have injuries, was missing Cam Rising all year, missing some defensive players, but
Yeah.
still, Kyle Whittingham led team, and they left nothing to be challenged. Like they ran through Utah, and now they've beaten 4 ranked teams. I think it's about time that we really start thinking, hey, is this Jed Fish hire? Is he coach of the year this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think everything's starting to become on the table now. I've been
We don't
pretty
sound crazy
reserved.
anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, like, and I've been pretty reserved to like, hey, man, let's just wait and see what happens. And I think the Utah one for me, like, was a huge hurdle. I have a ton of respect for that program. I think it's been
Mhm.
probably pretty clear when we've talked about them. I brought it up several times. Um, I know Ben holds that Penn State win over a Cam Rising list Utah team near and dear to his heart. I know that's part of it's an integral piece of the cloth that he holds on to when he thinks about how important Penn State football is. And I want to let you know we're on a level playing field now, brother. And we are coming for you, Nittany Lion. No, I mean, I really do feel so good about Arizona football right now in a way that I really can't even like put into words because this has like been such a unique and we've had a lot of conversation about this a lot, and it is just hitting at different levels that I frankly I'm not used to seeing, and I haven't seen in a long, long time.
Haven't felt this way about the team in a
Yeah,
while.
it's been a long, long time, and again, like the Utah win just meant that much because Utah is a program that I think like nationally is respected. Everybody understands what they bring to the table in terms of physicality. And when we put the physicality and took it to them and took that game over early and then just held control of that game, that meant a world in terms of like where we're at and where we stand in the grand scheme of this thing. So this is a legit team. It's a very, very good football team. And yeah, I'm taking on all comers at this point.
Dude, I honestly believe, and this isn't hyperbole here, I honestly believe if they were in the Big 12 this year, they would probably be ranked as a top 10 team. Beating
Yeah.
4 ranked opponents, having one of the best offenses in the country, very balanced offense. The defense has been electric. I feel like if they weren't in the Pac-12 playing their games past midnight East Coast time, they would be a top 10 team. I legitimately feel like that because they have the resume to back it up. I hope to God, because Ben's not here, so I can say it. I hope to God Penn State finds a way to lose one more game and we can find our way some way, somehow into a bowl game with Penn State and we can shit all over Ben on it.
It would be so fun to score points while they can. I mean, it
Oh,
would. It'd be
man.
so much. Oh my God, it'd be so much fun. I'm 100% with you. I mean, but hey, like I mean, we could end up in this Pac-12 championship game. It's a win against Arizona State, which granted is a rivalry game, and so there's plenty on the table there.
Yep.
But if we can get an Oregon State win over Oregon, which I don't think is completely out of the realm of possibility, I
No.
do think Oregon's a very sound team, and I expect Oregon to win that game.
They
So I
played
expect out.
great, though, against Washington.
Yeah, so I do expect. Yeah, they did play really well. So I do expect Arizona to still be on the outside looking in, but it's all on the table still, and this thing can get very interesting. There's a lot. There's a lot still available to the Wildcats, and that's a crazy thing. When a couple of games in, we're like, I don't even know what this is, even though we knew it was like getting better, and there was plenty of reason to be optimistic. And I don't think we were ever down on this team by any stretch of the imagination. But to foresee like the run that they're on right
No
now,
way.
like
No.
I just wasn't. There's no like, I mean, it's so hard to imagine what you haven't seen before, and as you begin to see these things, it becomes much more easy to imagine, and it'll become easier the next year and the next year and the next year, so long as like the same players are here. Like if we still see Fafita, we still see T Mac, and I still see Jed Fish out there. Next year, all of
George
these things
Bowman.
become much more believable, right? But
Yeah. Dude,
Jacob Manu again.
I would have been so happy with a 6-6 season, making a mediocre bowl game, playing in the Bahamas somewhere, playing in the Underwear Bowl in New Mexico. I would have been happy with that. 9-3, a potential 9-3 season is bananas. Like, and they haven't been fluky games. Should have beat USC, like Ben likes to tell you and I so often. If our
Yep.
coach would have had a nutsack to go for it, they might have been able to win. Took it all the way to the end with Washington, and then should have beat Mississippi State. This team is honestly probably one of the best teams in the country right now. And there was a conversation being had on the message boards because I'm a message board hero. I've said this before, but is Noah Fafita the best quarterback out of his recruiting class in the nation? And if you look at that list of quarterbacks that were on there, it's not too far fetched to think that. And guess who was in his recruiting class?
I'm all ears.
Drew Alar. Who would you rather have right now?
Yeah.
Without being a homer, like who would you
Oh, it's
rather
like no,
have
it's not.
right
It's
now?
it's not even a question.
No, because
It's. I mean, it's not. It's just
one
not.
player has won games like by doing things, by being a effective passer,
The
and one has
quarterbacking.
been on a really good defense.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
because
I
Penn
mean,
State has like 5 guys that are going to play in the NFL on the defensive side of the ball. And eventually you might make that case for Arizona. There's going to be players around there, and he's going to have guys on the offensive side of the ball. But there's no doubt Noah Fafita is playing better at the position that they're being asked to play than Alar. Well, I'm still not even sure how we're supposed to be saying it, which is frustrating. But yes.
I mean, listen to this list: Cade Klubnik hasn't really done a lot with his chance this year.
Yeah, given what they have. Yeah.
They have gotten worse, right?
And then gotten better.
And then got better after
They're playing better football now, to give them credit.
somebody from Spartanville, South Carolina, called in and pissed off, good old coach. Connor Wiegman at A&M, never even heard of him. Don't even know who that is. Ty
He's playing for a
Simpson.
new coach soon.
Yeah, Ty Simpson,
We know that.
who had his chance at Alabama, couldn't do it. Okay. Then you have Drew Lar, Walker Howard, don't know who that is, plays for LSU apparently.
Not
Devin
yet.
Brown, Ohio State, no
Not yet.
clue. Yep. And then just a bunch of guys, just some Jags. All right, guys, you're never going to see play. Malik Murphy out of Texas could be good. Probably not going to see the field, right? But he could actually be the best quarterback in his class. Now, you and I are no Fafita guys. All right, friend of the pod, our golf buddy. I would have never expected to say those words this early, right? I always thought, you know what, played at Servite, had a lot of success. I could see him being like serviceable quarterback at Arizona. I think that's what you and I always said, right? Yeah, like I think he could be a good game manager, could maybe like get the job done. Don't know if he'll really take this team to like the next level. He has taken this team to the next level. Like he is so calm in the pocket, makes the big throws, has incredible chemistry with every receiver, especially T Mac. And I don't know about you, we only saw Jaden Delore for a few snaps, and he did throw an unbelievable touchdown to T Mac, but I think that was more T Mac. I
It's
don't.
also more of an FU to
Yes, big time, which was great to see. Love to see
yeah,
it. You know,
petty, super petty.
Arizona
Don't hate it.
making those kind of plays in November. Didn't think
Mhm.
that was going to happen either.
Yep.
But there's a noticeable drop off between him and Jaden, I thought. And I just don't think we would have ever even thought about muttering those words at the beginning of the season. So a certain football recruit, not to be named, said that he doesn't want to go to Arizona because he thinks that they have trouble recruiting or developing players. I think it's safe to say Arizona is pretty damn good at developing players, right?
They look real good right now, and every quote coming out of the Arizona camp right now is going to look real good. And that's the beauty of winning. Like when you're winning, everything you say sounds so great, and everything you say is right, and everything you say is wrong. And that's the beauty of this whole game. It's like it's a game about winning. Everything that Jim Harbaugh did or ever did or didn't do always is going to look fine as long as Michigan keeps winning. It's all good. And that's where Arizona's in the position of right now, and they should keep riding that wave. Like they're winning football games. They've made the right decisions in terms of like who has been placed into starting roles. They've made the right decisions in terms of who they've recruited, whether it's through the transfer portal or, you know, coming from some programs in California, whatever it may be. Everything is working and everything looks good, and they're the smartest guy in the room right now. And they should just keep the ball rolling. And what did you think about? This is something I did want to run by you. Robbins. Robbins is clearly on the field trying to sign the contract with Jed Fish on the field.
I would love to know with what money,
Yeah,
since
you're
they're
well,
240 in the hole. But I
yeah,
give him
which
credit.
is yeah, which is interesting. But I do think there's like a lot more to that. And I think the more you read into that, the more it makes sense that it's really not athletics related as you might think it might be. And
Just a lot of professors about to get canned. That's all. You know, see you later. We'd rather have a cool football team.
I
I'm
mean,
already
look,
graduated, bro. I don't care.
look, yeah,
We'll be number one in innovation too.
yeah,
No, but I think that's great that the not even the AD, but like the president of the university has been on like every sideline for the past 6 weeks, just like dapping up Jed Fish. Now I hope it makes a lasting impact because I'm very nervous. I don't know about you about losing Jed Fish. Again, didn't think I'd utter these
as we
words
should
2
be.
years ago, but he has interviewed for the Michigan State job. Um, don't know why you want to go to there. That what a shithole that is. I guess more money. But I think it's inevitable. He is going to interview other places, as he should, right?
Yep.
Arizona is not a traditional football powerhouse. Um, I think he has always been a guy that has chased a traditional football powerhouse. But if what I'm hearing is correct, Arizona will have no problem boosting funds from donors to get him a 5 million per year contract. And I hope that's enough to keep him for a couple more years. Because I will say, the moment the Florida job opens, that guy's gone. Like he is the
Yes.
next. he is the next
Yes.
Florida coach because that is his dream job. That's where he started. That's where he learned everything, and I wouldn't blame him for leaving for a job like that. Now, if he goes to Michigan State, I will have some words about him doing that
Yeah.
because
That
I
would
I
be
don't
curious.
I don't like Michigan State.
That
you
would be
know,
curious. Yeah.
I mean, hey, Penn State might have an opening here pretty soon. Maybe good old Jed Fish can go up to Penn State, go to Happy Valley, and
You wish, Ben.
yeah,
You
you
wish.
fucking wish.
You wish. You'd
Yeah,
love to get your hands on a coach like this.
only if he brought
Yeah.
T Mac with him, huh?
Yeah.
That's my biggest fear. If we lose Jed Fish, are we going to lose like guys on the team?
It's a good problem to have, though. I mean, this is what you want, right? I mean, I can't spend my can't worry about these things. I mean, right? You obviously want to keep your guy, but having momentum in your program at whatever cost is a good thing. And if that means the next guy believes that he can actually come in here and win, and that the university believes that they can win, and all of those things tie together. So it's a good problem to have. I mean, again, if you'd asked me at the beginning of the season, like, would you love to have this problem? I would have said a resounding yes. 10 out of 10, 100 out of 100, 1,000 out of 1,000 times. So this has been a sweet ride, man. I hope everybody's enjoying it. I'm having like a hell of a time. Like, this is so much fun with Arizona football. With Arizona basketball, I always expect it. I'm
Yeah,
counting on it. I'm banking it, and I'm actually like an annoying fan to where like I'm like the expectation level is always here, and anything below here kind of drives me crazy. With football, I get to kind of cruise in with sort of more mellow expectation. Um, Always hoping for the best, but when it actually turns out and it's churning like it is today, dude, it's so much fun. I mean, I'm just having such a good time with it. And it's so nice when I have a family full of Arizona State fans that I know aren't going to say anything this week, and they're just going to shut their goddamn yappers. I mean, it is so nice to just know that they're going to all, just bow in respect and just kind of nod and be like, "Hey, good luck this week,"
yeah.
as opposed to running their mouths about, 2, 5, and 6 teams. I mean, I don't even know what they're really normally excited about, but it's a nice reprieve for me. I can tell you that much.
It is cool to get texts from like my brother-in-law in Georgia who could care less about Arizona and just be like,
Right?
"Man, you guys are pretty damn good." And I'm like, "Yeah, guess what? I golfed with the quarterback." That'll never not be cool. So thanks, Noah, for that. Is Jed Fish probably the best coach we've had since Dick Tomey, you think?
I mean, I think like Stoops, like because he did a couple. I mean, I'd like to see Fish do it for a couple of years.
Yeah.
But I do think like this run is like this is a unique run. It's a very special run that we're on right now. Still a couple things left to be on the table. Like we still have a rivalry game. I think that does still matter a lot. I think just putting the exclamation point on just a regular season alone and beating your rivalry like does mean a lot. So I think
One more
right
game. Yep.
that taste in your mouth can change real quick if they don't handle their business next week. Like you'd be surprised how quickly that whole narrative can change. And then I think the bowl game is, kind of the bowl game, and like that a lot of variables can go into that about who plays, who doesn't play, how that shakes out. But I
They
think
should
I
all
think
play, by
I
the
think a
way.
big capitalization next week makes a like a that still does make a difference.
I tend to think that maybe he is, even though it's been a short run, for a few different reasons. One, I don't look at just on the field success. I look at overall like culture of a team. Um, Rich Rod was a lot of fun, but I think we all knew that there wasn't a lot of long term success there with the way that he coached. Right, never recruited high level, gimmicky offense. Jed Fish has changed the entire culture around the football team to where like they're being ran like a pro football team. He's got a lot of media support. He's drawing a lot of attention to Arizona. Um, and then the recruiting is there. He's recruiting his ass off. And I think even with Stoops recruited his ass off, but I feel like with Stoops, we would lose games we shouldn't lose too. And
Sure.
this, I mean, if I agree with you, maybe one more year will solidify it, but Fish is handling business. And also he's a great face of the program, right? Like always says the right thing. Um, always does the right thing. It seems like. I think his quote this week about the guys that transferred out was terrific. That he thinks that, yeah, I think if they could redo it, they would redo it. That he doesn't think they made the right decision. The actual quote was, for a few of the guys that transferred out, I think that might have not been the best move for them. The best move is to stay here. And if you look at somebody like Dorian Singer, who had over 1,000 yards receiving last year and now has 250 at USC, he might be onto something. So it's just things like that where he's not brash, he's not abrasive, but he says just very good things. Um, Reminds me a lot of Dick Tomey,
Yeah, and that's kind of my point earlier about like when it's when you're right, you're right. Like when everything's going well, all the quotes hit. So I'd love to see it for a couple of years. You know what I mean? Like that's what would have like really solidified for me. But there's no doubt what he's done with this team and this program in 2 years, and to be where we're at and the conversation that we're like the fact that we're having this conversation
is
says a
insane.
lot. Yeah, like just the fact that we're having it, right? The fact that it's even open because I don't want to just give everything away and just be like, oh my gosh, yeah, like Fish has already just lapped the field in terms of Stoops and Rich Rod and what have you. But
And
uh,
Sumlin.
but look, he's in the conversation. There's no yeah, it's like really hard to take that step. But there's no doubt like it's a worthy conversation. I don't think it's a crazy question to ask, which tells you a ton.
Yeah.
So
Nope. Yep. You're totally right, man. I hope we get him another year. I will say I'm part of a lot of the new Big 12 Facebook groups. That's where I throw this podcast on sometimes.
yeah, let's go.
And they are legitimately nervous about Arizona coming into the fold next year. And that should tell you a lot too. They're projecting us to go in and win it right away, us or Utah. And I think we look a lot better than Utah. So,
Yeah,
yeah, man.
Cam's coming back. That's why.
Yeah, Bad Moon Rising. Saw that
Yeah, man.
seventh year in
He's
college.
like 25 years here. Let's do it. Yeah. Screw it.
Look, you're in Utah, dude. You guys do that all the time. All right.
Yeah.
So,
Just gonna soak it up.
oh gosh.
What?
What was that? Well, let's end on one last note. College football, like we keep alluding to, is coming to an end. Only what two? Well, next week is the last week, and then we have kind of bowl season. I think the
Yeah.
top three is pretty solidified, right? Georgia, Michigan. Who's the third that I'm thinking of?
You have Ohio State,
Ohio State.
Washington,
Yep.
Florida State, sort of outside looking in, but in a
Yeah.
good spot because they could win their conference championship and some other teams could knock
Bama.
each other off.
Bama could do it if
Oregon floating.
they go to the SEC championship and beat Georgia, which could happen for sure.
Hmm.
But then yeah, Oregon if they beat Washington in the Pac-12 championship, unless they lose to Oregon State, and then guess who plays in the Pac-12 championship? Ooh, yeah,
Three
it's
loss
Arizona.
Arizona, outside looking in. Yeah.
Yeah, even though by the way, it's not a thing anymore. Arizona Pac-12 South champs 2023. So,
Yeah.
print the
Count it.
shirts, baby.
Count
um,
it.
but yeah, dude, there's a lot of ways this could go. Who do you think gets that fourth spot ultimately?
I mean, so I kind of assume Georgia will still get this done, but I think it gets God, this you could play this game. This is musical chairs, man. I
Yeah,
have no idea.
it's a lot more.
Uh,
It's a lot less solidified than it was last year.
Florida State's dealing with an injured Jordan Travis, so they're gonna
Yep.
have to deal with that. You have a one-loss Texas team hanging around. You have one-loss Oregon hanging around. It seems like the momentum is that Oregon's somehow going to beat Washington. I would think that a Pac-12 champion holds a lot of weight when they've really been the second place conference all year. If you still want to give it to SEC based on reputation, I understand it, but I think you can honestly make the argument that the
Also
Pac-12 has been as
bullshit,
good
but
as every
yeah,
conference in the country. What I'm telling you is that Michigan and Ohio State and the Big Ten are not even in the conversation. It's an absolute dreadful conference that Penn State plays in. They lose their two games, and they're basically UCLA or something. It's fine. They can have five guys go into the NFL from the defense. You're a Pac-12 school. That's fine. Man, I'm really just taking shots at Ben while he's not here. I'm just like just picking
We
away at
miss
Ben
you
while
though,
he's not
Ben.
here.
We
But
miss
like
you.
we do miss you. But I mean, honestly, like if you're not here to defend the Big Ten, no one will.
Chase isn't
That's a
here
bad
either.
conference. So we should have no more than one team. So that should be the winner of Michigan, Ohio State. So you have one there. You get the winner of Georgia, Bama, because they're going to absolutely give us an SEC champion. There's no way that doesn't happen. And then you just get the weird. I assume it's going to be a Pac-12 champion, and then I don't know what happens with the ACC if Jordan Travis is still injured. Texas, do we bring Georgia back in as a one loss? Like I could see that happening, dude. This is still. We
Georgia
just have to
should
let the
probably
games
make
play,
it.
right?
Georgia should probably make it no matter what, is what I'm thinking. With one loss,
You would
even
think.
then, yeah, I think the SEC holds that much power.
I do
You
too.
know, so for me, it would be like Georgia, probably Michigan, because I think they'll beat Ohio State. I'm pretty confident in that. And
Yeah,
then,
coin toss
shit, dude,
confident. Yeah,
I didn't even think
there's
about
a bunch of coin
Texas.
tosses left. There's so
Yeah,
much left. Like there's so much going on this weekend. That's the problem. Like you can't. I don't know how to churn this out because if you end up with right, what if Texas ends up winning the Big 12? They're a one-loss team.
yep.
Then you have one loss Alabama beats Georgia. So then you have one loss Georgia, one loss Bama, one loss Oregon, one loss Washington, one loss. I mean, I have no idea what you do. This could be as chaotic as it has been, or we just walk out where we end up with 4 undefeated teams and it's super easy. And it
Yeah.
ends up being Florida State, Washington, Georgia, and the winner of Michigan, Ohio State, and it's super clean. And then we don't even have anything to discuss at all.
I selfishly really don't want Florida State in there because I
I
just
don't
don't
either.
think they're that good. You know, I think they play in the weakest conference
Yeah.
ever.
Whatever I said
And
about the Big Ten, the ACC is far more trash.
yeah, I think Jordan
Yeah,
Travis being hurt, that's going to suck really bad for them. Texas plays Texas Tech. You would think they take care of business
that
there.
should be fine.
Yeah. Oregon State, Oregon could be huge. Oregon should take care of business there, you would think.
That's the thing. We have 2 weeks, so we still have Oregon has to beat Oregon State and then
Yep.
go beat Washington in the championship game.
Yep. Yep. There's
Washington has
that.
to take business, handle business in the Washington in the Apple Cup, and then go. There's still a lot. We've gone a long way. There's a lot of football left to be played.
Ohio State and Michigan are both undefeated.
Yep,
I could see both of them getting in.
but they can't. It's a terrible conference, and you can only reward one team from a bad conference. That's the rule.
Here's the thing, though, is that you and I think they're a bad conference. I don't know if like the voters are going to think that. That's the problem.
America knows.
American.
There's one quarterback in the conference at most, and we're still not even sure the Ohio State kid's any good.
That's true. But
I mean, seriously. I mean, bet. Well done.
yeah. But if we go with that logic, right? You go Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, potentially. And then that fourth one is it. I hope to God that it's a Pac-12 team, and that's not just because I'm being a homer, but like for God's sakes, like the Pac-12 has legitimately had like 5 or 6 ranked teams this year.
It's a
Like,
really strong conference this year.
it's
There
not a
should
Mickey
be
Mouse conference.
yeah,
You
there
know?
should be a participant from the Pac-12. I think there's
Ooh,
going to be one from the Big Ten. There's going to be one from the SEC, and I think it's that fourth team that it just I don't
Florida
know.
State. Do you know who they play this weekend?
Florida,
Yeah, who's not that good, but
but that's not who you want to see on your schedule either,
when
ever.
you don't have Jordan Travis,
Yeah, it's not who you want to see on your schedule.
that could
I mean
be.
that game still matters. Yeah.
I could see that being an upset. I think I know where I want to put my money. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, because I mean that's the thing. It's like it could definitely. There's so much football to be played. We did all of this to still be like we still have 2 weeks of just chaos going on,
And then if they
which
all
is
win,
why I'm excited to have Ben back on because there's a lot going on still. I mean, he's probably thinking Penn State's back in this thing by the end of next weekend.
there's no way. No
He
shot.
doesn't. I know he doesn't,
No
but
shot, no.
but I mean, we're as a 3-loss Arizona, and I'm just seeing all the chaos. I'm like, what if everybody lost?
What if we would have beat Mississippi State?
I know all these games were on the table, man. We had Mississippi State on the ropes. We had USC on the ropes. we're right there and being in this conversation.
Oh man. Next year, man. Next year,
Yep.
Big 12 better
Horseshoes and
watch
hand
out.
grenades.
We're
Yeah.
gonna be playing. We're gonna be playing those 12 o'clock slates. You're all gonna be
Yeah.
watching. All right, man. It's a big slate this weekend, so make sure you guys watch. NFL coming down the stretch. It's going to be the jump shots from the goal line bowl. Chargers versus Ravens, prime time. Maybe John and I watch together. Probably not, but if it happens, maybe we'll have some footage of it. Basketball is a thing that's going on. Wimby just had 8 blocks, so he's fun to watch. Draymond's choking people out, so there's
That
that
was
as
sick, by
well.
the way. Nice
Yeah,
move.
yeah. Take out the French guy.
3-point
Um,
takedown.
yeah, take down the French guy right before Napoleon comes out in theaters.
Bear's just like, what is happening? Why are
Yeah,
you doing this to me?
yeah, yeah. But lots of sports to be had. So make sure you guys are tuning in. Click that subscribe button right there, right there. Yep, right there. So hit that subscribe button. What do I do with my hands? Um, and then also make sure you're subscribing on Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen. If you're an Audible listener, make sure you're following us there. You're about to be at the Thanksgiving table and you're going to be saying what you're thankful for. I fully expect all of you to say, I'm thankful for John and Dugan and the Jump Shots from the Goal Line podcast. And when your uncle, who's already 4 or 5 Miller Lights deep, says, what the hell is that? You go ahead and hit subscribe on his phone so that he has the joy of listening to our takes every week. All right. That's what Thanksgiving's all about. Spreading the good word.
Right.
I'm not talking about Jesus.
You
So,
tell them we like safeties that hit over the middle in this
yeah,
family.
that's right. You let them know and tell them we like Salma Hayek as much as they do. So make sure you're pushing out the good word. Follow us on social, Instagram, X, Twitter, whatever it's called, Facebook. We're on all of them. So make sure you're following us there. And some people tend to enjoy maybe a quick round of golf on Black Friday. If that's your thing, make sure you bring a bag of tasties with you. All right. They are a sponsor of ours, but we're also both a couple of users of tasties. They taste good, they're functional. Go out and get a bag and use them on Black Friday. All right. Go ahead and check out the website. Maybe our Tasty Boy is going to have a little sale on Black Friday. That's not a guarantee. I have no idea. He hasn't told us anything, but it seems like something that a consumer product would do. So if you're listening, Tasty Boy, maybe put it out there.
He's
Um,
got some deals coming. Trust me, a tasty boy is a stocking stuffer, and I think a tasty boy knows that.
yeah, exactly. This is the time of the year that you buy
And
those stocking stuffers, and in
yeah,
my stocking from Santa Claus, because I've been a good boy, I want some tasties. So
if you're
go
not
ahead.
into the kind of show that trolls your sponsors, then this is not the kind of show you should be listening to. But
Yeah.
it's what we do around here. Yeah,
Also, not a troll job. We love tasties. So
we do love
go out and
tasties.
buy them. And then we will talk to you. Probably won't have a show next week, is what I'm thinking. Well, maybe we might record Monday. I don't know. The only way you'll find out is if you hit that subscribe button and gets to your feed. So guess that's the only way you'll find out. But until then, we hope you all have a great Thanksgiving and we'll talk to you later. Bye.